Hi all, back with more Conflict of Heroes, Solo Mission 4 Partisans, take 2. This is my part 5. Okay, so another day got the little dog with me, as you can hear. Okay, this mission looks like it's on the road out, to be honest. We've got... Yeah, he took out our pioneers as well, didn't he? So we've got these 2 units left and they're both hit. And we've not took one of their units out. They took our truck out as well. Yeah, it's just been... I've just been destroyed here, haven't I? Really. So might as well get this finished off and then hopefully this time it's error-free. It's not brilliant strategy free. Sorry, well it is brilliant strategy free, isn't it? Because I think I've got unlucky with the way things have. A lot of spent checks went their way, a lot of dice rolls went their way. It's maybe some randomness come into it and maybe hampered it a little bit. Maybe I'm trying to think back to playing these games before I went back in the day, and I think I had a bit better success than this. Because all I've done, I won the first mission, didn't I? And then second, third, and fourth mission, I've just been... the second one... Well, I would say the second one was close. Was it the second one or the third one? It was just close, so just won by 1 point, I think. I can't remember the other one, actually. And then we've had 2 attempts at this, right? One with a lot of errors, but we got sorted, and this one's even worse. They're almost into double figures in the victory points. They're on, what? 9 points, and we've got three units on our cap track there. Right, so just before I get this finished up, I had a comment from Hal again. I think I mentioned I just got something last night from him, and I think I mentioned it. And it was regarding this situation with this unit and the furthest from situation and trying to move into the target's flank. It looked quite complicated to me. And the main part I was unsure about was can I then look once if I rule out a unit, can I then still use him as furthest from and look elsewhere? And that's one of the sort of questions I'd like to maybe post if I do create a little sort of example or play thing. There was another one, I want to remember the one that he was moving towards the cover, wasn't he? That was an interesting one as well. There's a couple of others. However, Hal he's still disagreeing with me here and feels like this move here was not getting closer. After I ruled out the unit that was here, I then stretched it to the unit that was further on, and I moved here because my intention was I was moving into the unit's flank. Maybe not. I wasn't moving into it, but I was moving towards his flank. But he's disagreed, and he comes back again with, remember, the priority number 1 is move closer. And well, I've just replied to him because I understand that the priority is number 1 and to get closer. So I get what you're saying there, Hal, is then if you can't get closer, you can't do the move. Full stop. That seems to be what you're saying, but what I did was copied and pasted 5.2 AI movement, and I'm assuming. Remember, he has got the 3rd edition. Like I say, the 3rd edition solo rules, I don't think there's any difference. No, it's exactly the same. And I copy and pasted that to him, and that is that. Oh, hang on. I've just carefully laid it over the top there. So there it is there, 5.2, and I've read it out multiple times. And going by points in the rulebook, I suppose, this comes before 5.3. I maybe highlighted that before because it was mentioned to me that 5.32 comes after 5.3 and it's a sort of subsection of that. Well, maybe 5.3.2 is part of 5.3, and I suppose this is not part of that, so it's a separate thing. Okay, I'll take that back. However, the reading of that, just read that, 2 words. AI movement that does not increase the number of hexes to the target. That's what the definition of 2 words is. Now, well, this is what Lewis told me. This was more a definition of what these things are. 2 words, AI movement that does not increase the number of hexes to the target. Well, that kind of doesn't make sense, doesn't it? Because low risk, move towards the priority, like Hal has pointed out, and he's quite right, is to move towards, is to get closer. So that kind of doesn't really make much sense, does it? Anyway, if you read on it kind of explains what it's trying to say here. So AI movement that does not increase the number of hexes to the target. If an AI cannot move in a way that decreases the number of hexes to a target, it may instead move into a target's flank, move into cover, or pivot, providing that it does not increase the number of hexes to the target. So if what you're saying, Hal, is you can't make the move because you can't get closer, what is the point of that? What does that achieve mean? I'm happy to be told what it means something different, but this is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to move towards the unit's flank. Now, I know I couldn't get closer because there was no legal low-risk move that could make a move that got me closer. But then that's when I started looking at that, because the AI hex movement hierarchy, I know it's bullet 4, it's not bullet 1, okay, I agree with you there. But remember, we cannot move closer. But the bullet 4 is move towards the enemy's flank. And that 5.2 tells you that you can do this, but by keeping the same distance. You don't need to reduce the distance. You're just not allowed to increase the distance. So you'll need to. I don't know if you've took that one on board, if you thought that one or not. And I realise you're newer to this game than what I am, but you seem to be understanding how it works and whatever, and you made a few decent comments, and I thought your explanation of you made a comment back and it was really well laid out and whatever. But this time you've got to come back and tell me what the purpose of 5.2 is, and explain to me the situation that you're talking about here. If it doesn't apply in this situation, that 5.2, then let me know what you're meaning, because that to me was a move towards that unit's flank, and that's what I was doing. And I concluded that the bit that bothered me more was the fact that I'd eliminated the units furthest from its closest to, and I was looking at a further from closest to, and I was concerned about that, and that's why I was wanting to use the unit up here. Now, we know this unit up, the AI that was up here, I know he could make a low-risk move. He had no issues with that. I think it was, up behind the white woods here or something. He had no problem in making it, but I still felt like I should be staying down here and looking at that, and that's what I was doing. Okay, I didn't get closer, but I moved into his flank, and like I've kind of got a bit frustrated recently saying that, what is the purpose of trying to move towards unit? It's there, it's written there, it tells you it wants to do that if it can't do these other things. So anyway, let me know what your thinking is, and well, I've replied to your comment anyway, basically just saying that, what is the, okay, if that's, what is the purpose of 5.2 then? What does it mean? Because it seems that that's what I had done there, but maybe not. Okay, right, let's get this finished then. So, it's a fresh round, of course, so we can actually do something. Hang on, let me get this out of the way. Yeah, well, we can sort of do something. Well, he can't move, he's pinned, and this guy's cowering. And if I go and rally them, I do have a command, actually. I could do a free rally, and then that way there's no risk of them getting spent. But we've still got to rally. You've still got to roll the 7. But if I rally them, I'm checking on a 5. So if I'd done that with both of them, they could both be spent in the first activations of the round, and then it just lets the Soviets just control the rest of the round. But you've also got to look at the mission track, Grant. It's got three steps. What I really don't want to happen is, because I've not hit one of their units yet. I do not want to hit a unit and then they move on to that vodka and just automatically rally it. That would be so frustrating, because I don't think I've even hit a unit in this mission at all. They've certainly hit me, but yeah, so the fact it's only got 3 steps to go. Maybe I should just get on with it and get this finished and either set up the campaign or do what you said you were going to do, set up some examples. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I keep thinking about the examples. The examples are all going to be based on my playthrough here. But I'd like some other people to have a look at them, and that might, if I highlight it, make a comment in the BGG thread in the forums, with a link to my video, just anybody that wants to come and have a look and see what they think of these examples and see if I'm getting them right or if they've got any. I still didn't get any answer to my question regarding the priority of the mission track movement as well. Yeah, there's a few things coming up. There definitely is. Right, okay, what are you going to do, Grant? Well, he can't move. Yeah, he could fire at him, but what is it, 4 against 13 there, so... Well, you know what? Maybe that's not the worst idea. I know it means a 9, but we've got 3 caps. Oh, yeah. When I look around and I see all the Soviet units, I think, what is the point anyway? You're not gonna... You should really just wrap this up and move on, because it's... Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to have a shot on that. Well, now, hang on. I've already talked about vodka as the next step on the track. So, should it be better? You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to do an auto rally. You've got marker enemy unit spent. How about we do this on that guy? We rally that guy. He needs a rally on an 8. We are in a +1, but we use the command action card to rally him so that we're not doing the spent check, and we chuck 2 caps into it as well. So we need a 6. Well, no, in fact, we need a 5 because he's getting a +1 because he's in the woods, the White Woods. That sounds like a good idea. Right, well, I don't want to risk that guy getting spent if I'm going to do this plan. And then what I can do is move in behind this guy. He's got an attack of 2. This guy's got the 4, isn't he? So that would be 5 against 11. It's not bad, though. See, I could do it the other way about. I could spend that guy. But getting into that guy's flank is going to take a bit more time. Yeah, let's stick with this one. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this guy, and he's going to do the spent check cost. So it's 2 APs, right? And I'm going to mark that unit as spent. Now remember, this is going to be your action, Grant. You happy with that? Yeah, okay. Right, I'm going to do that. So I've used this card, and now we've got to do a 2 AP spent check. And I think I can use either of my units for that one. Now, if I was using the card that, what was it? Was it Follow Me, where you rallied the unit and it cost 2 APs? You would have to actually use the unit that you were going to rally. But that one, as far as I can see, you could use any one of your units to mark any enemy's unit spent. That's... I've not found anything else different. I suppose I could go and search for Battlefield Confusion and see if something comes up, but should you, Grant? No, I'm going to leave it. I'm pretty sure that's right. Right, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, okay, I did do a quick look, and yeah, it is. You can use any of these cards. I think it does spell it out in the rules, though, that if it's a specific... Well, maybe you should... Because remember, I did read about it, the rally card. Wait till I find this. Yeah, I don't think it's that clear, but I think there's certain card that's going to apply. It says action cards must be played during a player's turn. Playing an action card constitutes an action. Cards paid for with APs must be played on the activated unit or group that paid for it. But you can't do that with this. So it's a bit... I think there should have been a bit more... sort of looked into that one, really, because Battlefield Confusion targets an enemy unit. So if you're paying for APs like follow me, any unit or group may immediately rally. So if you were paying the 2 APs for that, you must target the actual unit that you're doing it. So it needs to be fresh. So I think any ones like that, a lot of them are zeros right enough. Battlefield Confusion is a 2. Frontline Officer, that's the same as well. So roll 1d6 for additional caps, but it doesn't specify, like, you know, that doesn't make sense. Like, you've got to use it on the unit that you're going to use, because you're not doing that, or you're doing the adding caps. So yeah, I think if it's doing something to the actual unit, then you would need to use the unit for it. Okay, so we've done that. We need to check on a 2. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so check on a 2, and we're using that unit. Ah, man. Yeah, it's just we're needing to get this finished. So he's spent right away. Okay, over to them. Stop, Grant. I did not roll for initiative, did I? No, I drew the card and I didn't roll for initiative. Right, well, you know what? I wouldn't have spent caps. So the thing is, I might need to rewind what's just happened now, though. Let's hope we get an 8 here. No, we do not. Nothing like an 8. Right, so in actual fact, it's going to be their initiative. I need to rewind then, which might get me out of a bit of bother here. Well, I shuffled the command. You know what? Let's just start again, right? Let's just put that back. Sorry, my bad. Give me that card back. I'm still planning on doing that, but because the AI is going to go first, I'm just going to shuffle up the command deck. We'd only drawn that one card, and okay, I know that's maybe got me out of a spent shit, but it still wouldn't surprise me if I do it again and I still draw a 2 or a 1. The way it's been going. So right, let's shuffle up. Give me a sec. Right, shuffled up. Let's start again. Right, so it's the AI's initiative. I've put that back to fresh as well. So let's see what they do. Right. Oof. So the track was moving already. The AI plus units less than or equal to 6. It won't be. I know as I started zooming back in again, I feel like I should show the card, then zoom out, and I know I'm looking about and you're not seeing it all, but I'll pick the instruction and it lets you see, then I zoom out and then we can look at it. And if you've got doubts, you could always rewind your video a little bit just to look at the card again, if you can't see it from the full zoomed out distance, that is, which I could still read it, like I say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 units in AI. So no, there's nothing up close. Fresh AI less than fresh units. We've got 2. No, he's got about 7 or 8 or something. So no. AI closest to a target, low risk meteors. Right. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do that with the ones up close. We will be able to do this instruction, but the AI that's closest to a target, did we not already try and move this unit? And was I not contemplating moving them there? Why did I not do that in the end then? Because that again is moving to the flank. Yeah, I know how it's not moving closer, but I don't know until somebody tells me what that 5.2 means and what it's meaning by it. Then I'm going to still try and move to the flank as long as I'm not increasing the distance. That's anyway. So he's 2 away. He's 2 away. He's in a fire zone. See, this is another interesting one, isn't it? No. We looked at this already. But it is quite an interesting one if this guy wasn't here, because he's in a fire zone. If he moves into there, he's then not in a fire zone. Now, he's not moved closer. But remember, 5.3.2 AI low risk move. If the AI is in a fire zone, the AI, bullet 1, step 1, right, will move into a non-fire zone hex. That is if that guy wasn't there. That is a non-fire zone hex if that guy's not there. But that's the reason he can't do it. But I know he's not moving closer, but he's not getting further away. Well, do you look at 5.2 and say, is he satisfying 5.2? 5.2 says if an AI cannot move in a way that decreases the number of hexes to the target, it may instead move into a target's flank. Well, that wouldn't be doing that. Move into cover, that wouldn't be doing that. Or pivot. Actually, he can pivot. I never thought about that. Because we're in his flank. And you know what? We were coming up with a plan to spend him to move into his move. Well, we're in his flank, but to move adjacent in his flank. So yeah, we've actually maybe got something there. He might just pivot. But reading the rest of that doesn't really allow that 5.2 doesn't really cover that moving out of the fire zone. but I mean, it's built into 5.3.2. It's the very first one. If you're in a fire zone, move out of a fire zone. And as long as we're not getting further away. Okay. Well, I'm still stuck with that, Ro, because if the AI is in a fire zone, the AI will move into a non-fire zone hex. I get the feeling what you're saying is, and Hal's been the only one that's been making the comments, really. Well, Scott did at first, and then I liked his thinking, but he maybe it's just sort of thought that maybe that wasn't right, and that the other guys were right in what they were thinking. But I've moved on to that bit too. But there's still other bits. There's definitely still other bits that bug me anyway. So we'll move into a non-fire zone hex. So that's what that's doing, but it's not really doing anything else. But is that not enough? I can fire at that guy there. Now I can. Is that not enough? And not only that, he moves like that and then turns towards me, so that I'm not looking at his flank anymore. So that I can't just move into those woods in his flank. He actually turns and faces me once he moves in there. I tell you what, it could well be that I'm making that move, because that is bullet 1 of the AI is in a fire zone, right? And yes, I know the movement hierarchy, but because bullet 1 says move a fewer number of hexes to get closer to the unit, that to me, it's not, because 5.2's there, that doesn't tell me that you've always got to get closer. It doesn't. That's what 5.2 is all about. You can still do clever things as long as you're not moving further away. Anyway, so if we don't believe that that's a legal move, and number 2 would be we'll move into a fire zone that has the same or higher DM as the AI's starting hex DM. Well, that would be into a DM, but we know we can't move into his close range fire zone. So I mean, he can't move into there or there. It's not allowed. Number 3 is the one that, now I think when I replied to Hal last night, I think he's maybe reading this slightly different for me, so I wanted to read this again. We'll move towards the target's flank if the AI cannot move closer and the hex is the same or higher DM or not in a fire zone. Now, I was reading that as it'll move towards the target's flank if it cannot move closer and it cannot move to a hex that's got the same or higher DM or it cannot move into a non-fire zone hex, then it'll consider moving towards the flank. I think the way Hal laid out his comment, he was maybe reading that in a slightly different way. So, and I'm not saying he was reading it in the wrong way. It could well be that I've got that wrong, because it confuses me, that one. I think it's poorly worded. I think that could be set out better and a bit more simple to understand. Okay, I guess some of you guys out there have no difficulty with it, but if I do, that's fair enough, is it not? It's not. Or, is it just me? And then no, Grant, you shouldn't. It's fine. Maybe if you want to look at it that way, fair enough. And number 4 is we'll pivot towards a flanking unit if the AI cannot move. So if we say that he cannot move there, I mean, to be honest, he can't move anywhere else. Can't move further away. He can't move into that. Well, to be honest, he could, because he's in the same DM, and he wouldn't be moving any closer, but he'd be keeping the distance, and then he could turn towards him like that to avoid his flank. So, which is the right one? Getting out of the fire zone, pivoting, maybe moving into there and pivoting. I mean, I think I want to say that one, I think it should be first, and he should go with that. But if you don't agree with that one, then do you agree that he should pivot towards like either that facing or that facing? I mean, I feel like that's not a good move. I don't think that's there, but in all honesty, it is moving into a fire zone that has the same DM as the starting hex DM. However, it is not getting closer. However, it's pivot. It's also covering the pivot as well. Whereas at the moment he's in our flank. If I do that, he's now not in our flank. We've not got closer. If I do that, he's now not in our flank. So it's kind of the same, isn't it? What's really different? And this one, number 2 comes before pivoting. So in actual fact, moving into fire zone is the same. That just feels like you're going the wrong way with that one, no, Grant. But if that's wrong, then I dare say maybe you're going to say that's wrong as well. Well, you know what? I don't think that's wrong. I think that's right. But then you did say that you were going to stand by what the guys were saying, Grant, that but then this is different. I'm in a fire zone and I can get out of one. And I can improve, not improve that, I can improve my position by facing the unit, not having them in my flank. But hold on, Grant, it wasn't getting out of the fire zone, was it? Because of that. So what were we... Yeah, I'd forgot about that. So by moving into there, that is not getting out of a fire zone. It's getting out of his fire zone, but not his. And in actual fact, if I then done that, I'd then be exposing my flank to that, which is kind of silly. So yeah, and that's why I then came back to the pivot, didn't I? Well, I think that's right then. I do. I think, I don't feel comfortable with that one. I don't feel comfortable with that one. But to be honest, I'm still not 100% comfortable that it's not right. But so the best I'm going to come up with this is that this guy can do it and he can pivot like that. Now I don't think he would want to pivot to that angle, because then he's in this guy's got him in the flank. So I think if he does it that way, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Right. However, there was two units to consider. So he could make the low risk move, or in Grant's eyes anyway. So can this other guy, so he's in a fire zone too, can he get out of the fire zone? No, he cannot. He cannot, because he can't move further away, and that would be possible. Yeah, I think that would be getting out, but he's moving further away. We know they won't do that. So, can he move into a fire zone hex that is the same or higher DM? Well, yes, he could. But again, you're going to stop me there and say, yeah, but that's not moving closer. If it was moving closer, it'd be okay. Okay. Then it'll move towards the target's flank if it cannot move closer. And that's where I think he maybe can make that move now. Why did we not have this move on before and we chose not to do it? Or did I feel like it just wasn't right? Another one, the last one's obviously the pivot one, but oh no, yeah, move towards target's flank, yeah. And the other one's a pivot, but he doesn't need to pivot because he's exposing his front, whereas this guy's exposing his flank. That's the problem. It's easier for us to hit that than what that is to hit that. Okay, so. Yeah, I mean, I still also want to think that that's maybe a legal move because it's moving towards his flank. Because he moves like that, right? Next turn, he moves like that. Then he's firing at a 10 rather than he was firing at a 12 a minute ago. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need these things cleared up for myself. I really do. Every time I sit down to do something, I'm just not. I don't feel 100% sure about it. I really do not. I do not feel 100% sure about any of these things that I'm talking about. Even, that one I feel sort of sure, but the way I'm reading the rules, I still don't feel 100% comfortable. Dear. Right. Grant, come on. Do something. Right. Okay, well, I feel like this is a bit iffier. I think you're going to disagree with this one more than me pivoting. So I'm going to pivot. Because remember, again, think about it. Pivot doesn't get it closer. Why is the instruction there? Pivot is not going to get a unit closer. So why is that instruction there if you've always got to get closer? That's another example of you don't always need to move closer. That's pivoting. Why is it a rule that will pivot? Well, pivot towards a flanking unit if the AI cannot move. And we're going to conclude that he can't move into there because I'm not sure. And he can't move into there because... To be honest, now that one shows like that I don't think that's right because we're exposing our flank and we're not getting out of a fire zone with that. So I'm going to go with that one. So he's going to pivot for one. And I'm still not sure if I should have been rolling randomly against these because that might have been just as good a move, working his way around to the flank. Low risk move, that's what it's about, sneaking round the back, is it not? Okay. Yeah, I still think a wee video with some examples of this, just to get people's opinion. I know I'm going to get some differences, I think. I'm going to get some... Anyway, right, okay, Grant, get on with it. Right, that was a check and a 1. All he did was pivot. So, let's check him. Oh, and he spent. Oh, well, we don't need our battlefield confusion now. That was fortunate. However, we're now not able to just... Well, I was going to rally the guy first, wasn't I? And then my plan was to then move into there and be in his flank. But because he's pivoted, I cannot get in his flank now. I mean, okay, I could just, to be honest, take him head on. He's not in any cover. Right, well, it's back to us. Right, well, we don't need to spend that guy. Well, why don't we do it on this other guy then? Yeah, let's do that. because I was going to use that card initially. So I'm going to use Battlefield Confusion. I'm going to use that to do the spent check, and we're going to mark that as spent. So that happens. So we mark him as spent. Yeah, that's fine. And then we check on a 2 here. And we get a 6. Okay, so that guy got away with it this time. What are you barking at, Ian? Right, okay, well that was our turn, wasn't it? So it's back to them. Right, let's just move on. Let's get this done and dusted. Right, so green card. So that's not... We've got 2 of their units spent already. So it's not going to be them that's doing this, whatever it is. So nothing up close. Oh! I was watching back. Now, I thought this would maybe catch me out at times. The new version of the cards, the blue command cards, I've not got one to show. Did we draw one? No. No, not yet. Right, wait. I'll wait until a blue card comes on and I'll talk about them. Okay. So nothing up close, no counter actions. Yeah. Unhit AI and cover closest to a fresh unit. Fire +1 caps. Yeah. Yeah, that can happen. This guy, just looking at this guy here, he's in cover. Instruction is unhit AI in cover. So he matches that. To be honest, there's maybe others, but I think, well, hold on, Grant. Closest to a fresh unit, yeah, because I think the machine gun can take a shot on this guy, can't he? And he's in cover as well. These 2 guys are spent, obviously, but he is closest to a target. That's the deciding factor there. Sorry, closest to a fresh unit. So he's closest to that than what he is to that. He's got fire +1 caps. So what have we got? That's just pinned. He is in the White Woods. So he's sitting with a 13 defense. He's a 3. I don't know why I'm looking underneath that. He's a 3, but he's getting a 1 cap. So it's 4 against 13. So it's the 9. So he's going to take that on. Needs a 9. So kind of hope. Well, I do hope he misses because it's going to take the guy right out. But it's... Oh, well, let's see if he hits first, Grant. So he needs a 9. 7, good, okay. So I'm really hoping he's going to get spent here. But that's what let us down in that last part, the amount of spent checks they got away with. So it was a check on a 4. And he draws a 6. Of course he does. Of course he does. That's not right, is it? That's not just not right. Okay, so what guy are we going to rally then? Because I'm starting to think he'd be 13 if I moved in there. That'd be 7 against 13. And what are we going to get out of this? That would be 5 against 12 if I go just in there. So that one seems slightly better. And you know what? It also gets me out of this guy's line of sight, I think. Well, I've got to rally him first anyways. He's going to still be sitting there. And there's a better chance to rally this as well, because it's a 7. And he is the stronger unit. It only costs 2 to fire. Yeah, okay, we've decided what we're doing. However, I'm going to use my command action on this because I don't want the guy getting spent. And if we rally it, it's going to be a 5. So we're going to do a free rally with that card. Now, I need a 7, but we're in cover, so I need a 6 or better. I want to make sure this one... You know what? I'm just going to take a little bit of a chance and just spend 1 cap so that I've got 2 caps left. So that means I need a 5, doesn't it? Hang on. It was 7. We get a +1 there. And we've got a +1 to the caps. Yeah, so we need a 5 or better to rally them. And remember, we've used the card, so there's no spent check on this. So we really need this. Right, so a 5 or better. Oh my god. That was close. Right, okay. So just with the skin of our teeth, this guy rallies. His pin marker goes away. We don't do a spent check, but that is, however, our turnover. Back to them. 30 plus units less than equal to 4. That's okay. But they're going to come soon. So nothing up close, no counteractions. Hit AI, there is none. Unhit AI, closest to fresh unit that just acted, fire. Yeah, that guy's going to go for it again, isn't he? So same again, unhit AI, closest to a fresh unit that just acted, which was him. Fire. He's not going to cap this time, so it's 3 against 13. Yeah, we'll take that on. It is a 10. Remember, it's only if... Oops, going the wrong way. Oh, what's my zoom? It's only when it's 11 or higher that they'll not take it on. So he needs a 10 for the hat. This would be criminal. 7. Okay, right. We're getting things happening a little bit. Right. So he misses, but come on, get this guy spent this time. So checks on a 4. And there we go, he gets a 2. This time he's gone. Was that a command card that I got there? No, it wasn't. Right, so he's spent now. So we can put our master plan into play now. Well, it's been happening. You know what's happening. I've not drawn a blue card yet. As soon as I move in there, you know. Part of me is sort of saying maybe we should be careful and move. I just don't think I've got the time for that. No, I don't. Yeah, we've still not had the vodka event though, Grant. Well, hopefully I can kill him before the track moves. Yeah? Let's go for it. Right. So I'm moving out of my cover. I'm moving in there for 1. I do have 2 caps, but... Well, you know what? 2 caps would allow me to fire if I happen to get spent here. So, check on a 1. That's a 4. Good. Okay. We're good. Back to them. Not a blue card. Oh, the track's moved. Oh, but mind you, in some ways, that's not a bad thing, is it? Because the track's going to move to vodka. A hit AI closest to unit auto rallies. There's no hit AI. I'm just about to hit him, hopefully. Hi all. Right, I've done a blunder again. I'm sick of this, I really am. I'm going to have to try and get a different app. I mean, I'm happy with the recording in this, but I must have clicked the button again. I've paused it or something. I don't know where I am now. I really don't. I need to go back and watch a bit of footage, but I just had a look there and it looks like I've been on pause, or thinking I've been on pause when I've been recording, and that I've had that bit as well. What a shambles, honestly. I'm sick of that. I've got to have to try find something different, because I can't keep having this. I can't keep watching the numbers move on, because I'm trying to do other things, and it seems to be so easy just to hit the button and either pause it or start recording when I don't know I'm doing it. Right, I don't even know if this footage is going to come to anything or not. It's a shame, because I'd like to finish this part, but I've moved on. I don't know what you've seen. We had some interesting little bits happening there, but I don't think you've seen any of it. Yeah. Okay, I'll see if I can rewind that and find where it's all went wrong, so give me a sec. Hi all. Right. It's quite far back this has happened, but I'm going to try and fix it, because I've spent that last 40 minutes just wanting to finish this part off. So let me see if I can reset to where we're at. Right, I think that's where I'm at the moment. We had just drawn this. There's quite a few cards that I went through. I've obviously missed a lot. So we had just drawn this and got and I was like panicking, thinking, oh no, that's the vodka event. But I had just moved this unit into position to take a shot on him. And again, I'm just going to have to tell you some dice rolls and what happens. So that moved on to that, and then I was panicking thinking, but there's no hit unit at the time. There's no hit AI at the time. So nothing happens with that. And I think that's when things cut off. So that's where I'm going to have to take it up from. I'm not sure if this guy's spent yet or not. I should work it out as the cards come along, I think. We'll see. Right, so what have we got? This is for them. It's not a blue card. Unhit AI closest to a fresh unit that just acted. Fire. Well, this was a unit that just acted. Nothing can fire on them. Fire +1 caps. Yeah, so he was fresh. I think that's what happens here. I know this is a mess, but I'm not going back to do it all again. I just want this finished with, and I'm going to have to really try and be extra careful, or I don't know. I'm going to look into trying to find another app that might suit me better. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that was a 1, and it was fire +1 caps, and he was firing on this guy. So we had 4 against, well, it's actually 12, 13, 4 against 14, so he actually needed a 10. Now, I can't remember the exact die roll, but he missed, okay? So then done a spent check on a 3. I think this is maybe where he gets spent, so we draw, and yeah, there's a 2, right? So he then becomes spent, so I'm just hoping the cards are going to come out and we're going to get what we get. Right, so then it was back to us. We take the shot on. Yeah, that's right. We take the shot on. We hit the guy. Do we still have caps at that point? I can't remember, but we hit him anyway. Okay, so we hit him, and he takes the hit. Then we spent check on a 2. No, we've still got 2 caps left at the moment, because we spent check on a 2 and he becomes spent. There you go. So he becomes spent, and I'm cursing obviously. But the good thing is I've got the 2 caps left to take a shot again. But wait to see what happens here. So then back to them. We draw. It's a blue card. Of course it is. What's the instruction on that short range? Auto rally. So he is the one that's at short range. It's a blue card. Oh, sorry, he should be spent as well. I flipped him over. He should be spent. It's a blue card because he got spent ages ago. In fact, was that not the one we'd done the Battlefield Confusion on? Anyway, it's a blue card, so he can do it. He's going to auto rally. So obviously this comes off. We don't know what this is, but if it was a killed in action, we get away with it. It's unnerved, so that's fine. That goes back in the cup, and he's happy again and not hit. So back to us, and I'm cursing. We do have the 2 caps. I decide to use the 2 caps, take the shot on. We hit the guy again, not critically. That is the chit that we draw for it, which I've not looked at, but that's the same one. I just set it aside. So that's him hit. We don't take a spent check. It is then back to them. Okay, I'm keeping this going. It's working up to now. So then we get this card, and what happens? I think that's the one, the unit way up the top there, I think is going to move, because that's what happens. So we've got nothing there. Nothing can fire now. No, nothing can fire. Nothing can fire. Unhit AI closest to the unit that just acted. There's no... Yeah, there is. There is. This was the unit that just acted. So unhit AI closest to the unit that just acted or mission objectives move towards. Right. So it's these 2 guys up here that are closest to this. I randomly roll. We get this guy. He moves 1 into there and adjusts his facing towards this guy. He was a random selection. And then we check him on a spent check of a 1. That is 1 hex closer, by the way. I checked all that. Checks on a 1, it's a 5, he's fine. Back to us, right, so we've only got this guy. So then I decide, right, hopefully I can get this right. I'm contemplating rallying, and then I realise that, wait now, we could take a chance here and get adjacent to this guy and fire. It's +2 for him to fire, but he can fire. The thing is, it's +1 for him to move as well. And he's got this nice defense on him. He's also got to get within what? He's only range 1. So I decide to move him into here. And then it's 1 + 1 to move. Moving into that terrain's fine. So it's a 2. So we're checking on a 2. And this is kind of huge that we don't get a 2. And we draw this. So it's a 4. So he's good. It is then back to them. I can't think what happens here. Is this a blue card maybe? No, I don't know. Right, well, let's see what they draw. It is. Yeah, okay, that's right. So we've got a blue card, and I'm also cursing at this because I've just moved in here. Now we've got 2 short range situations. However, this unit's hit, so the priorities are we use the unhit AI before the hit to carry out the fire, and it is fire +1 caps. So this guy fires with 3 +3 for short range +1 caps. So he's firing 7 against this unit's 12. 13, 14, so it's 7 against 14. He needs a 7 and he rolls poorly and doesn't hit. Okay, so that's then that away, doesn't need a check. Back to us. Is that my door again? Right, sorry, I had to go and get the door again. So, which wasn't good because we're trying to catch up with. Right, yeah, it was my turn. I chose to move in there. No, he just fired at us with a command card. That was it. After I chose to move in there. And he missed. That was it. Right. So then I decide not to take the attack on here. I think this is us just catching up now. So I decide not to take the attack on. I wish I'd left the card out that we were at. And I decide to move into the hex. So this cost me 2 as well because it's a +1 for the actual cowering. And what I'm obviously going to do is attack him in close combat, and then we check on a 2, and all is good with a 5. I want to say that might be it. No, because the track moves again, Grant. So maybe this is the card that moves the track. Hang on, right? AI plus units. Let's only go to 10. Actually, this is maybe back to where I was at. So plus 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is going to move. It just moves into nothing space, but one more step and it's done. And I think that's me back to where I was. So I was looking at this card, wondering what the next action might be. Yeah, so nothing up close, basically because it's a green card. Fresh AI less than fresh units. No, we've got 1. They've got more than 1. AI mortar infantry gun. No. AI furthest from lowest defense value unit fire. Nothing can fire. AI closest to a target and move towards. Yeah. Right. This is where I was back to then. So it's going to be one of the 3 guys up there that's going to move towards. Okay. Right, so we've got multiple. I'm just looking at make sure it's recording. So we've got multiples here. This guy's 13 hexes away from anybody. He's 12 away from him. He's 12 away from him. And he's 12 away from him. So what are we looking for? AI closest to target move towards. So first of all, we need to find the AI. It's between the 2. They're both unhit, both got the same doodah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the other one. I've rolled a 4. So it's going to be that guy. Then we need to find the target when these are just as close. Remember, this guy is hit though. So if the eligible AI can execute a move order against multiple units at equally distant away, execute the order against the spent unit, then the hit unit. So in actual fact, this is the spent unit, that's the hit unit. So he's going to go for this first. It's not going to be much of a... So he's just going to move into there. It's just a normal move towards. That's fine. So he checks on a 1. Right, okay, that's us back then. So maybe it wasn't too bad. Although you had to, again, not see some of the exciting die rolls. That's a 4, so he's fine. Right, back to us. Come on, can we not just get this Finish. Just move the track once and put me out of my misery. Right, well, we're going to go out with style. We're going to have a go at this guy. So remember, this cost me +2 to attack, but I can carry out the attack, so it's going to cost me 5. So I'm more than likely going to be spent doing this. I've got an attack of 2, attack rating of 2. I should zoom in a little bit. Attack rating of 2, make sure we're recording though, right? We're in close combat, so that's a +4 you get to that. So that's 6. And then we count being in his flank, and he's not in a defensive terrain. So it's 6 against 11. So my hope here was that we might be able to pull off a critical. So 6 against 11 is a 5 we need, or a critical is a 9. So here we go. Oh yes! Another double 6. How many double 6s have I thrown in this game? Right, we get something. At long last, we take a hit. So that guy's gone, critically hit. We get a victory point. Hurrah! So it drops him back down to 8. And then we get the next command card out the deck. Just flicking through them here. Oof, that would have made the track for sure. Right, there's the command order card coming out. And then I'll shuffle the command deck up. Okay, that's the deck shuffled up. Right, now we need to check. I spent check on a 5 here, unfortunately. So hopefully I've shuffled this deck carefully. And there's a 6 on top. There is not. Okay. Well. So, yeah, as I expected, this guy is now spent. So that is both our units spent, all our caps spent. So it's just left to them. I mean, they do only have 3 units that are fresh still, but yeah. So yeah, I'm just one put in my misery. Just draw something to move the track, really. Right, here we go. Yeah, so back to them. Right, okay. Well, we're going to see what this hit marker is, I think. So a blue card. We do have short range, and he's wanting to fire. So we don't know what this hit marker is yet, though. So he's wanting to fire, so we're going to have a look. See what it is. Suppressed. Well, that's good. That means it's going to cost... Well, it's not going to cost them. Well, it does cost them extra, but the command card makes it free. A whole 5 caps, you know. They don't care. However, his red attack rating is dropped by -2. So he's only attacking with 1. And then the +3 for short range. So it's 4 against 12. Yeah, so he needs an 8. We'll zoom back out. We are recording, aren't we? Yes. I'll have to keep looking at it. I'll try not keep saying that though. Right, so 4 against 12. So he needs an 8. We're not hit, so 5. Yeah, they're getting poor rolls now. So no. Doesn't work, but Grant, you've just said you want to put out your misery anyway. So that goes away, no check required. We have to pass, so back to them. 5 plus units less than equal to 4. No, there's more than that. There's no up close stuff because it's a green card. Counter actions, no. Nothing that can be fired upon, so it's just movement really. Rally, no. 1 hit unit, but he's green. He's spent. So AI closest to a target, low risk move towards. Right, okay, so we can do that. This is going to be the closest now for sure, and he's just going to move into the woods here. Take a check on a 2 because it was heavy woods. And he spent. So that's maybe good then. Okay, back to us. We pass, so back to them. And there we go. Thankfully, at the end. Right, so if AI plus units less than or equal to 10, just double checking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This time, yeah, we took 1 out the last time. Track moves on. Another 1. They get to score 1 more again because the GO9. They win on 9 victory points. What an embarrassment. Yes. That did not go well at all, did it? I mean, I think we were a bit unlucky with a lot of the things, but yeah. Okay, well, brought up a lot more questions again. I'm hoping once I watch back the final, I've only watched, we've got 1 and 2, part 1 and 2 out there. So there's only 3. I was watching part 3 a bit. I was halfway through that. So then there's part 4, and this is part 5. So it's a shorter kind of playthrough, isn't it? Yeah, that just shows you it went kind of quick. Some sort of back up to I didn't see his name before. The guy that I'd done a playthrough and was really miffed by the fact that the track could go like that. So kind of backs up his statement a little bit there. It went pretty quick, and I don't know. I mean, we could have been the one that was taking them out. They are, it could have been the results could have been the opposite and ending the mission quicker as if we were on. Well, is that true though? Because this mission, you've got to take GO9, haven't you? You've really got to take that. It's because if the mission ends, this is going to have scored 5 times. And remember, it's in the yellow box, so it's always going to happen. So yeah. Well, something to be said for getting that. If you play that mission again, Grant, maybe don't go for the units. Maybe head towards that. See if that's, just do one movement costs. But like I said, coming through here, you're going to have this machine gun shooting at you. And if you go up the other way, you're going to have the other units. So it's unlikely you're going to have a clean run for that hex. But, well, anyway. Well, it was good though. I enjoyed it again, even though I got thumped. I did enjoy it. Like I say, hopefully a cleaner playthrough there. Rules-wise, anyway. There's still a few clunky bits where just Grant trying to argue the case about this, that, and the next thing. But so what do I do now? Do I go and I want to play a bit more just now? Actually, maybe I've got a bit more in me tonight. It's moving into the night now. So do I try and set up the campaign? I thought I would still maybe just set up the campaign, and then as a side, I could always just bring out a map and set up a few units and maybe record that sort of wee example thing that I was going to do. Or rather than set up the campaign, I could just do that now, couldn't I? What's the campaign? Does it just, how many maps is it? Looks like maybe a 2-mapper, is it? Here it is here, solo mission 1. Solo campaign 1, mission 1, behind enemy lines. And there's been a couple of recordings of this online as well, so it's a shame. Maybe I should have started with the Soviet one, but my intent is to move on to the next. I'm going to play the whole campaign. Whether I stop, whether I continue with this, keep it going right through, or maybe take a break and go do something else, that's possible. Yeah, no, it's only map 5, this one, so it's only a 1-mapper. So I could technically set it up and I could just move this map out the way and maybe set some units up. Well, you know what, I might even just do that first. Just got to remember all the situations that I want to try and bring to the attention, And I want to set it out in a way that the video doesn't get too long. I certainly don't want it going over an hour. I want it just, I want to hold the attention span of the people that are going to watch it, which probably means I'm going to have to try and bite my tongue a lot as well and not say too much. But I want to get my points across as well, so it's not going to be easy, all that, I suppose. My guess is it's probably it's going to end up in a good hour video plus, and I'm going to have a lot to say, and I'm just going to have to hope that people can persevere through it and give me some feedback at the end. Fingers crossed. Right, okay, I'll get away for now. That is the end of solo mission 4, Partisans. We've done it twice now. Hopefully this one is error-free, or certainly better than the previous attempt. However, both results went to the Soviets. Okay, I'll be back later. Cheers.